Where's the picture gone?
Oh, Jesus! Oh, God! Oh, Jesus! God!
Welcome to Look Around the Confederation. I'm your host for the evening, Moose. CANDYMAN will be on shortly. Bless his heart. New computer, and it just completely wigged out on him. But yeah, we're live, and until I get our new intro ready for Look Around the Confederation, we'll be having those random spats of me just putting me and CANDYMAN's faces on stuff for my own amusement because I have insomnia and I cannot sleep some nights, so I just get bored and make stuff. But before we get started, please remember, the views and opinions expressed on this broadcast are not necessarily the views and opinions of the SCV, its GEC, nor any division, brigade, camps, or any other subsidiaries. So I hope everybody's having a fine southern evening. I'm getting my, my setup ready, and then we'll get started. Got a great guest tonight, have a great topic. And of course, before we get that, we did promise a special news focused on Lee Jackson Day. And I know Lee Jackson Day was about a couple weeks ago now, but bless our hearts, here at Look Around the Confederation, we've had a howdy of a time trying to get everything situated. But after this week, we'll be back to our regularly scheduled Thursday nights. I had a camp meeting this Thursday, which ironically I wasn't able to go to because I forgot I had a quiz due at midnight, so I had to focus on that. But we'll be back to our regular Thursday programming after this week, and we'll be sticking to that. But so we'll be talking about Lee Jackson Day. As a lot of you know, Lee Jackson Day got a lot of news coverage in Virginia this year. A lot of negative news coverage. And that's the reason why here at Look Around the Confederation, we take back the narrative and tell you what really happened and give you the news coverage that real media wouldn't give you. So there's a lot of negative things out there, but we want to show you guys what really happened. So I asked a couple times, let's see here. Sorry, I was getting an update from CANDYMAN. Bless his heart. His new computer's just not loving him tonight. But yeah, I told everybody, when we originally thought about this, please send, pictures from Lee Jackson Day. What did your camp do? What happened? We're going to be covering on the show. So, with that, we're going to be starting. So, let me get our first picture up here. So SCV Camp number 2312 had their first annual Lee Jackson banquet on January 9th with their keynote speaker, our current Commander-in-Chief, Mr. Larry McClooney. And I heard it was a good night. I heard that it had a great attendance. And again, look at that right there. Look at that beautiful picture of men getting together to celebrate our Confederate heroes. It's a beautiful picture, ain't it? But yeah, so they had their first annual Lee Jackson banquet. Maybe one day I'll hope to be there for one of them. I always love seeing SCV camps doing stuff. And one thing you'll get on the show is I always am envious of other people that get to go to these great events because I'm like, man, I wish I could be there, And sometimes it just, doesn't work out. But it's always good to have these events and just to keep celebrating our heroes. So next on the list, let me pull everything up. All right. This is from the legendary Mr. Ricky. Mr. Ricky sends us something every time we ask him to. So I have much love for Mr. Ricky. He has made a lot of close calls when we had nothing really to report, and he sent us something great in. He's always doing great work. So the Sons of Confederate Veterans Pennsylvania Vindicators Camp 828 was represented in the Lee Jackson ceremony in Lexington, Virginia. So Lexington, Virginia is where all this media coverage came from. There's a very big crowd. There's a lot of our men and women out there of the South showing people of the world that, hey, we still care about this day. Hey, this day is still special for us. Hey, you can take away it as a state holiday, but it's always going to be a holiday for us Southerners. And I mean, that right in itself is very important. And I'm so happy they got to celebrate that day. I'm so happy Mr. Ricky was able to go and attend. And it was very cool to see. There's a lot of pictures we got around that monument, and I love that monument. It's a beautiful monument. But taking a quick break, we wanted to celebrate someone very special to me. I don't know if she's in the chat. The legend, past CIC, Paul Grambling Jr. Are you in the chat? Let me know, sir, if you were in the chat. If not, maybe the great past Commander-in-Chief Chuck McMichael can text you and tell you to get Miss Linda on in a second because I have something special for her. But while we wait, let me pull up this real quick. Co-sponsored by the Virginia Flaggers in the Stonewall Brigade camp in Lexington, people came from all over the South. Look at all those beautiful states down there. And he says that he thinks the Lexington celebration of Lee Jackson Day had 90-plus people present on that Saturday morning. And ain't that beautiful? Just ain't that beautiful? People coming from across the state to show their importance of it. And that's what it's about. You need to host your own events. You need to show up and support others that you can because these crowds will speak volumes. And 90-plus, that's a pretty good crowd for a Saturday morning. Let me tell you, because I know some Saturday mornings it's hard for me to move. I'm just a college student. I don't really got nothing to do. But there's that. Oh, we do have the legend, Paul Grambling Jr. in the chat. Please make sure your wife is watching, sir. I have something special for her. So, a bit ago, let me get her picture up. Gigi, Granny Grambling, or Miss Linda Grambling, got her 35-year pin, and she said it actually had been 38 years of service to the UDC at the Lee Luncheon sponsored by the UDC Chapter 237. So I want everybody to congratulate Miss Linda in the chat on her 35 to 38 years of service to us. And we can't thank her enough. She has been great. I love her to death. She has always treated me awesome and made me feel at home when I have no idea sometimes who I am talking to some nights. And so she's always been awesome to me. So everybody give her a congratulations in the chat, please. And let's just give her a couple seconds of thanks because she is awesome and she deserves it. So congrats, Gigi, on 35 to 38 years. And we can't thank you enough for all those years of service. So, again, thank you. We love you. So happy and thank you for your support on the show. But we're going to go through these lovely comments. And, again, thank you. You mean so much to all of us. And there she is, the woman of the hour, folks. Gigi herself. We love you too. And we can't thank you enough. But with that, 1 second, I'm getting another update. Bless his heart. His computer started updating. Oh, bless his heart. I think my dog just barked downstairs. But okay. So without further ado, we'll get into more of the news. That is the legendary chat head of Cousin Vinny. Cousin Vinny, you did. I forgot to ask you to send your description in. So if you have something you want to say real quickly, just type it up and we'll put it on the screen real quickly. But there is Cousin Vinny in front of that beautiful General Jackson Monument where they had the celebration. Yeah, I think Candyman is taking an extra long Pop Tart break too. He likes his Pop Tarts, man. Cousin Vinny, do you have anything to say or add to it about your experience there, sir? Let's see here. Yeah, poor Matt, bless his heart. Yeah, Candyman is having the time of his life right now, trying to get his computer start. Uh, All right, Cousin Vinny has the New Jersey Flaggers and Camp 1505 pay their respects to General Stonewall Jackson. It was a wonderful event. I'm glad you had a great time there, Vinny. Mr. Ricky, we just started giving, glad you're in the chat. I don't know if you saw earlier, but we were talking about you and how you always save the day during slow news days with something great that you're involved in and your camp is involved in. So, again, thank you, sir. I'm glad you two got to meet. Glad you guys had a great time in Lexington. Again, we'll be talking a bit more about Lexington in a bit. Got to make sure I have the pictures lined up. All right, that is the legendary Captain Don Green who sent this in saying, Camps 2263 Lee's Jacket Banquet was a blast. They had a lot of good people in attendance. That is a awesome camp, and they always do some great work here in the great state of Mississippi. I'm a little biased, but I'm glad to see him sending something in. He again answered the call I gave when I was asking people to send stuff in. So again, thank you, sir. Looks like you guys all had a great time, and I'm happy you guys were able to have a great time. Going back to the UDC had a Lee Jackson luncheon, and it looked like they had a great event. They had two absolute legends there. I have to give them a bit of praise to mess with them. But they had two past commander-in-chiefs there, the legend Paul Grambling Jr. and Mr. Chuck McMack. I'm gonna get some for that. But I'm glad that they were able to have a great time there. UDC event. Looks like all the men had a great time. And again, it's all about getting together, folks, and celebrating two great men that we had the honor of knowing. So, with that, we have a couple more events. Let's see here. That's the wrong picture. All right. So, the Winston County Grays Camp 1788 had about 48 attendants for their 7th annual Lee Jackson celebration in the great state of Alabama. They had a Mr. Gary as their guest speaker, and this is, of course, submitted by their adjutant, Mr. Ron. I'm glad to see you guys having that great event. Looks filled, and that's what I like to see. A great attendance for Lee Jackson Day. People celebrating it. It's always good to celebrate stuff like that and make sure you make it your own. And again, support what you can support and definitely host an event when you can, because anytime you do this, like tonight where I'm going to be talking about the media coverage on Lee Jackson Day, we have a chance to educate other people, and that's really important. So last bit of news on Lee Jackson. I got this submitted to me via my Instagram, so I'm very thankful for them doing that. But SEV Camp 276 held its Lee Jackson luncheon on January 22nd off the Hoof in Kentucky. They had Dr. Tom Hitter present a great program, and they want to give a special thanks to Marshall County Coroners and the Marshall County Detection Center for supporting them on the lunch. They had a great event from what I could tell. They had a great crowd and all the things that go along with that. Sharing is caring, and I'll be talking about that in a second. But with that, that was our last bit of news for Lee Jackson Day. Thank you for everybody who took the time to send in stuff about your celebration, about your experience in Lexington. So, the media. I had Cousin Vinny, because Cousin Vinny was there, send me videos and news articles that the media were reporting about our lovely Lee Jackson celebration in Lexington, Virginia. Of course, all negative, all just trying to put us down, all of them trying to talk about how, it's not really someone broke the rules on YouTube. and talking about how it's, oh, well, it's not a state holiday anymore. It doesn't matter. This should be dead. Here's the thing. The state does not decide what we celebrate in this country. The state doesn't decide what we hold dear in this country. The government doesn't decide what we hold dear in this country. And as long as we continue to celebrate, as long as we continue to go out and support events, as long as we continue to keep putting up these events, sponsoring them, and going out there promoting and teaching real history, real education, and giving these people an insight into our world they've never had through their own education, through their own news sources, through everything, these days will live on in the hearts of all Southerners. I'm not even from Virginia, and I celebrated Lee Jackson Day. It was a state holiday there. I felt the importance of it, and I feel like we should have more holidays for our Confederate heroes. I celebrated my day by going to my Confederate cemetery near me, paying my respects at the monument, memorial, sharing what real history is behind this to a family of people. I even took a Christmas card for another one. I took another group picture for another one. And I explained to the kids and the parents the real history behind this and why I still care, why it is important to me, and why it should be important to them. And that's what it's about. These days will live on through the children of the South. It does not matter what the government tells us we can celebrate. It matters that we are still celebrating it. So please, never stop hosting stuff for these days. Never stop going out and supporting days for this. Try to do both if you can. I couldn't do both this year, and that hurt me. I couldn't go support another Lee Jackson Day event. But I celebrated my own. I posted about it. I told other people about it. I told people that do not give a rat's rear end of why I'm doing this. But the reason I told them that, so maybe one day they'll ask me why it matters to me so much. And that is what really happened in Lee Jackson Day. The children of the South, Southerners, ladies and gentlemen, got together to show the world, to show Virginia, to show the South, to show the United States of America that this day still means something to us. And it does not matter if you try to take it away. It does not matter if you try to stop us from celebrating it. These days are going to be important to us. And we're going to teach our kids, and we're going to teach other people why. And they will carry it on after our days are ended and called up back by the Lord. That is what these days are about. So, again, please share this. We're trying to get as much coverage on this story and to get as much awareness out on Lee Jackson Day as we can. So please share this to all your SCV groups. Share this to an SCV media page. Share this to a Confederate-themed anything. Share this on your personal page. Share it wherever you can. If you don't feel comfortable sharing it, make an SCV page. When I started getting involved in the SCV, I made an SCV page, surely for the fact that sometimes I can be a bit antisocial. And so if I don't recognize you sometimes, I won't accept your friend request. And so I made this SCV page so people could come like it, and I could talk to them, reminisce about good times, reenactments, historical topics and debates. And I could tell people, I could promote videos that get thousands of views, and people could come up on that page and talk to me about why Confederate history is important. Why do I care? So if you don't feel comfortable, please make an SCV page. Share it there. Get a following there. Start asking the important questions. You should never, yes, Robert, amen. You should never be ashamed of your ancestors. But I do understand how in today's day and age, people will come after you. I'm a college student. I've had a lot of people come after me. And so it's okay. But you need to find a way to get this content out there. Because if we're just sharing it between us, well, that's great. But no one's learned it. And no one is getting that, well, why are they celebrating Lee Jackson Day? Why does it matter to them? Let me have a conversation about it. Or they've only heard about the evil Confederates in history books they've always heard about on the news and classes. And so they're like, why? Why are you doing this? You need to put yourself out there to have the opportunity to educate. Be respectful. Be a Southern gentleman. Be a Southern lady. And make sure you make your ancestors proud during these debates. But yes, so please share this video. That's about, I think, all I had to say about that. So share this video. I guess that's about it. About it. I can ramble sometimes, so sometimes I'll try to simmer myself down, because if I get fired up, Matt and J-Bo know that I'll talk forever. There's been plenty of times on the Monday show, Connor's just muted my mic because I just kept going and going and going after I've already knocked the ball home. So I think I'm going to leave on a high note. But yes, please celebrate these days. It does not matter what the government tells you. These days are important to us. It's important to our ancestors. And it's important that we celebrate these great men that led by example. And we follow their example. It's very important to remember General Stonewall Jackson and General Robert E. Lee. So without further ado, we're going to take a small Pop-Tart break. And we'll be back with our great guest speaker talking about Lee Rides Again, putting up a new Robert E. Lee monument in Virginia. Again, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a big Robert E. Lee fan, so I'm a big fan of this project. I'm a great fan of seeing new monuments go up everywhere. So this is kind of like one of my bread and butter type topics, I guess you could say, a new monument going up and it's Robert E. Lee themed. So it makes me happy. But without further ado, I'm going to play a quick commercial as soon as I get down to my commercials. And let's see here. Got so many. I don't know where half of these videos come from. But after we get back from the break, we'll have our guest on, and he'll be talking about Lee Rides Again.
There is a place nestled in the rolling farmland of southern Middle Tennessee. A home constructed in 1837, nearly lost to the ravages of war. Saved by a servant and a Confederate general. A place where families loved and lost. If walls could talk, what stories could be told? If a place, a home, can feel love, loss, pain, surely this is one of those places. Nearby is a more recent structure, and inside are the stories of heroes and heroines, stories of battles won and lost, stories of sacrifices made by the people of its native soil. A place that will tell the true and complete story of the Southland and the war fought for its freedom. From the causes that led to the conflict to the modern-day struggles to protect Southern history. Historic Elm Springs and the Confederate Museum at Elm Springs are the general headquarters for the Sons of Confederate Veterans. A place where the story of the Southland and its historic struggle is preserved and told. Come and discover your history.
I thought it was only fair, so I messed with Matt last week with his. I made one of myself. Too bad he wasn't able to be on tonight to be able to see and enjoy it. I'll have to send it to him. And I also wanted to kind of switch topics. I got very serious towards the end of that last one. People are saying their eyes are burning. And that's what happens when you see me dance. I'm not a dancer. It's why I do not dance with people. And that is why, because when I was hired to dance in Spider-Man 3, I burned the eyes of everybody there and decided to put it in the program. But yeah, so we were talking about Lee rides again. Let me pin that in the chat real quick. And we have a lovely guest on tonight to talk about it, Mr. William. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Oh, I can't complain. I think I had one of the best talking points on the show I ever had. Got fired up towards the end.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be there in Lexington, last weekend, and I'd say whoever told you 90 people was probably a little bit light. I'm going to guess it was well over 125, 130. A lot of young people in the crowd. That's always good. Probably some federal agents. There's definitely some suspicious looking people there. Caught some of our attention. That was interesting. But yeah, it was a good time. I'm glad we had about 7 or 8 members of our camp that made the trip for it. And just glad we could be there again.
Well, I'm glad y'all were able to go. And of course, I did have some pictures of a lot of younger people. I always love seeing people younger than me go to these events because usually sometimes I'm the younger guy. I always get picked on because I'm a younger guy. So I always love seeing the younger kids go because, first off, that's our future.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing them go to these events, being raised like that, they will always cherish that because, man, I know I do. And so I'm glad they were able to have a lot I guess the term, the newer generation there, as well as all the other generations represented. And I'm glad to hear that it was about 120, 130 people.
Yeah, at least it was a good turnout for being a really cold day.
And yeah, there's a lot of people in the chat that have been talking about, and I haven't put their comments up because I was doing the news and I wanted to give the news a lot of coverage. And then when I got on my Lee Jackson topic, I kind of was a little bit focused on that. But yeah, we've had a lot of people in the comments who were able to go to that event say it was a great event, say it was a great day, say they met so many awesome people, and that's always something good to hear.
Yeah, unfortunately, they pulled the permit for the actual parade because there was some incoming weather, and I think that they use that as an excuse to pull the permit for the parade. That way they could, to redistribute some resources across the state. But people don't let that stop them. Just instead of walking down the street, everybody took to the sidewalks. So camp still had their banners out, and people, we're still going to celebrate. You pull a permit, that's not going to stop everybody. They should know better than that.
Yeah, and again, that goes on what I was saying is just because they're telling you can't celebrate it doesn't mean you can't. And you have to fight sometimes for things you believe in, and that was one of the great examples of fighting. Was just people walking around with their flags and celebrating Lee Jackson Day. We're not doing like our enemies and, burning down stuff per se. We're going through. They told us, hey, you can't have your parade. Okay, fine. We'll just walk around with the stuff. Yeah. And we're showing you that no matter what you do, we're not going to back down. We're celebrating this day because we all care about it.
They've made it their job to make things difficult for us, and we just need to make it our job to keep doing it regardless. If we give up, they win.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people, ask me. Why don't you give up? Like, why do you keep going? And it's because if we give up, they've won. All they're doing is they're trying to make our life harder. They're taking away the state's holiday. They're making it so you can't have your parades. They're doing this and that.
And what would we be to our ancestors if we gave up because the media didn't like us? They endured 4 years of the trenches at Petersburg, marching in the heat. They endured so much, and they pressed on for 4 years. But yet, then people think that we should give up, over, a canceled parade or a removed monument. No, we're just, no, we just need to fight back.
Yeah, and again, do it in a respectable Southern way. Again, we are not like our enemies that are prone to I'm just gonna say break things because YouTube. Facebook and YouTube are very sensitive on how you describe those events that happened in the summer. So I'm being very sparingly with my words, so I don't get the show in trouble. And then I'm gonna have to be the one to deal with that anyway. And I really don't feel like having a bunch of emails from YouTube and Facebook.
Yeah.
But again, we are doing this the right way. We're celebrating. We're showing these people, no matter what you do, negative news, taking away the state-sanctioned holiday, taking away our parade, it doesn't matter to us. What matters is us going out there and showing our love and support for our Confederate ancestors. And we're not going to stop. I didn't realize how high my camera was. You can do all these things and much worse, and we're going to keep fighting because we love our Confederate ancestors. We have that Confederate blood running through our veins. We have a great heritage and history behind us that we are all proud of.
Yeah, not to steal their little expression, but literally love trumps hate. The love we have for our ancestors is way more powerful than the hate they have for them.
Yeah, and that's what some of these people are never going to understand. I can actually put this comment up, so I'm going to put it up. That is the best comment I've seen describing why we act different than our enemies, because they're prone to act of idiocy. Again, people know on the show how I love saying words wrong, and I messed with past Commander-in-Chief Chuck a bit ago by on purpose mispronouncing his last name. Again, they act away and they can get away with it. We act that way, we wouldn't. Mm-hmm. So we have to fight a certain way, and I'm so happy to see how y'all fought that day. They tried everything to put y'all down. And what did y'all do? You kept fighting. And that's something I love to see. And someone said, if I don't come to next year's Lee Jackson, this is Cousin Vinny because it has a prank in it. He'll prank me. Vinny, how many times do I have to tell you? Southerners carry guns. You do not want to scare prank us. I carry a gun on me, Vinny. I don't want to shoot you, man. I like you. Don't scare prank me, man. I bet that's about to get censored. Oh, I didn't think about that. All right. So without further ado, let's talk about Lee Rides again, man.
So it's going very well. As well as I expected it to. Last week we hit the $20,000 mark. I think we're on around week 17, week 18, something like that. So we're averaging, a little over $1,000 every week. If you're an SCV member, you probably saw our flyer in the Confederate Veteran Magazine. We're also doing some giveaways locally to get the word out. But it's all, thanks to the individuals and you guys. I think at this point, about 300 people have donated. And that's off the top of my head. It may be more than that. But we keep track of everybody who donates, because we love everybody. I personally receive we have another gentleman that keeps track of the PayPal and the gifts and go, but I personally keep the mailbox. So I get the checks that come in, I deposit them. And we've received so many letters with just kind words and words of encouragement. And it's just amazing, and it's not just, from Virginia, it's all across the country, north, south, everywhere, everybody's getting in on this. Everybody wants it to happen. And it's just been great. And, we're proud to be the ones to do it.
Yeah, and I mean, when I first heard about this project, I think within a couple of weeks of y'all announcing it, it appeared across my Facebook feed. I'm in a lot of SCV groups. I love to try to see what other divisions and brigades and other things are doing. I love seeing that, and hence why I wanted to be on Look Around the Confederation, because that gives me the perfect opportunity to do that. So when it came across my screen, I think within a couple of weeks, I asked you to be on the show and give the original pitch for the project, and to know y'all are doing so well right now is just it's another blessing, and it's something that you said this behind the scenes that and I told you the same thing I'm about to tell everybody. Things like this, when you're doing something as big as this, a regular monument already costs a lot, and it's already hard to do. And for the people that do all that, I have the biggest respect for. I would love to put another monument up in my county, but I know how much hard work it is, and I know how much money it needs and stuff like that. And right now, I feel like there's other things that I could focus on. But people understand this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. You got to pace yourself, because this is going to take a long time. And you can go ahead. How long did it take for the original Lee Monument?
I believe it was 13 years. I believe they started doing the planning and the fundraising in 1877, and it wasn't dedicated until 1890. So we are in this, completely dedicated for the long haul. Be patient with us. We will get it done. It doesn't matter what it's going to take, whether, it has to be financed or in the camp or anything, it's going to get done. So far, you guys have been great. The money's still coming in steady. And as Commander Gramling has said, we do have plans for 4 fundraisers. We haven't really started those yet in a big sense, just because things are so steady. As long, so we got, the ball's rolling. So we don't want to kick it past everybody.
Ornament, your Christmas ornament.
Yeah. Miss Judy Smith, that was her idea. She messaged us about it and said, hey, I'll set up an ornament on the site. I believe I talked to her at Lee Jackson Day, and she's going to be sending us a check for that. And she said that she hadn't finished calculating and doing everything. But we were going to get over $300 for those ornaments. So that's at $5 a pop. That's a lot of people. Supporting. And the great looking little ornaments too. I said, I personally obviously bought one.
My family bought 2. I have my own private Christmas tree up in northern Mississippi. And so I got one from my dad. Got me one for Christmas for my little tree, and then he was like, well, how can I not have Robert E. Lee on our Christmas tree at home? So Dad bought himself one. And then there's a couple other people that, of course, they're giving you ideas, and of course you're taking this, of course, one step at a time. I understand that, and of course we're not trying to pressure you, but yeah, Cousin Vinny said T-shirts and a monument would be awesome. I could definitely see that. Yeah,
and that's something, we did talk with the Monuments Across Dixie people. They do have sources. And at the time when we originally talked about it, we were just getting things rolling, and we really didn't have the budget for it. But at this point, we could reinvest some of the money into the little mini monuments. We talked about they could have the packaging with the different images on there. So yeah, it was a bunch of people have asked about those. So we will go back and look at it again and run those numbers. Because thanks to you guys, giving so so freely and being so awesome, that we do have the money to reinvest in the campaign, to get the mini monuments and shirts. Shirts have been a big thing. We've talked about it for a while. And what we actually want to do with the shirts is probably invest in making those ourselves. because your average T-shirt company is going to want $15-$20 for the shirt. And our thought process behind that is, well, we can go buy a $5 shirt, and spend a few dollars printing it ourselves, and that's more money straight back into the monument fund versus somebody else's pocket.
With a company, yeah. I used to when I was in high school, I used to sell T-shirts, and I would be making them myself. And if I before I left for college, I had the idea because it would add 2 times my profit getting my own printer, going out buying the shirts, printing them myself, and that doubles my profit. And of course, the profits, when you make something, and then look, I put the mini monument comment up there because I'm not gonna lie, I have my own SCV desk. I would love a little mini Robert E. Lee monument on it. That's the whole reason I put that up there, for selfish reasons. I'll admit it. But we also have to make sure that when you guys do these fundraisers, and of course this, that you're not, I hate to say waste, but you don't overspend the money that you could be using to putting the monument up.
Yeah.
So, you gotta be careful with fundraisers and make sure there's a high demand and people would like to buy it before doing stuff. And then Victor said, if you guys want a custom tumbler to raffle off to get in touch with him, he'll donate it for the cause of the monument.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll reach out to you after the show's over.
And then let's see. Alamo City Guards Camp, we had them on recently. They said that Monuments Across Dixie has been very devoted to the cause. I couldn't agree more. I always love seeing new monuments up. So, of course, I love just following them on Facebook and seeing it. And then,
Monuments Across Dixie is our kind of our partner in this. They're the ones that are actually going to go out and get this thing made. They've got the connections to do that. And they've been great. And not just about putting up monuments, but you mentioned earlier, sharing videos and pro Southern content. I've helped out with their page recently, and their Lee Jackson birthday post. I think the Jackson post got over 525,000 people were reached by that post. The Lee birthday post, I think, is almost cracked 700,000 people. So that's a lot of people out there getting a lot of views on that, and they've been great about that.
Yeah, and people don't understand. When you get these views, sometimes you don't get automatic feedback. You'll see a lot of hate, and it could be downing. As Cousin Vinny says, defeat is only a mindset, and I love that post that make Dixie great again. They're our sponsors, so go support our sponsors. But Monuments Across Dixie, I've got the hat, that's even better. But Monuments Across Dixie, they posted a picture a couple years ago, and it had just 5 or 6 Confederate monuments that look like they're about to be ready to go, and it said in the corner, defeat is only a mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get to that post, you got to think, those are people that probably didn't even know that day was Robert E. Lee's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And they could reach out privately, or they see all the hate and they just really don't understand it and they want to know information. It's about getting out there, people. And you're going to get your fair share of trolls, like I'm sure you've gotten, about putting up the Lee Monument again. That's probably just lovely on some of our enemies' minds that they get to see that again.
Surprisingly, not as much. It comes in waves. It's some page or something will share it, and I'll have to go through and block and delete, comments for a couple hours, and then it'll be fine.
I know the feeling.
Yeah, and I don't want to. I hope I'm not stepping on anybody's toes or taking their thunder. But everybody here loves monuments. So keep an eye out in the next few months. There's probably going to be a bunch of some Jackson monuments popping up.
Love to see it.
Yeah, keep our eyes for those.
I love going to monument ceremonies, and I told you when you started this, I might be a Mississippi boy, but I will break the bank to make it to Virginia for when y'all unveil this monument.
Yeah, like I said, we're still in phase one. And what we're calling phase one is, getting the money for the bronze equestrian monument and purchasing some land. We've got our eye on some land, and we had some people offer to put it here, put it there, and very generous offers. And I may have said this in our first video, but this is such a big project that we want it, more accessible. We want people to be able to go there and see it and park and post pictures, do everything. So I think just because so many people are donating, it's such a big project that we do have our eye on a piece of property to purchase. And it will allow people to park, and obviously we got plenty of ideas for security, fences, and night vision. Most of all this, so we've got a lot of security stuff going to go into it because I don't plan on letting this thing get touched. This is important to me, and I ain't trying to let nobody get no hands on it. So we're doing that. But phase one is, we're looking for, $200,000. It should get the monument covered and the land. And once we get going into phase two with the pedestal, the actual planning, some people have done like some memorial bricks type things and pavers. We do have plans to open that up to people. If you've got want to donate X amount of dollars and send us your ancestral information, we'll have it engraved and it'll go, be incorporated into the pedestal, into the sidewalk somewhere. So that'll be a project when we, get to that. Hopefully sooner rather than later.
Oh yeah. And, again, everybody understands that, again, like you said, the original monument took 13 years. And so we wanted, and of course you guys want to do this right, and you don't want to half it. And, it's just like, okay, that was good, but, well. Yeah,
I mean, it's, no. And, we wouldn't want to put anybody in a position where they're like, looking at saying like, well, that sucks, So, no, we're going to take every measure possible to make the saying as it is going to be the exact size. And I feel like I made that mistake in the last video. Our original goal was for 100,000 because I made the mistake of when I was researching the monument, thinking that it was 14 feet tall. And where I got that number was from a strangely worded article that talked about Lee sitting 14 feet. Well, Lee sits 14 feet because Traveler's 14 feet. And the torso extends another 7 feet on top of that for making it a total of 21. But it never really crossed my mind to double check that because the Charlottesville Lee Monument was 14 feet. Now, I've been beside that monument pulling tarps off of it, so I know that one was 14 feet. I've been up and close with that one. So it never crossed my mind that there were two different heights. So we did have to adjust our funding and everything. For that. So anybody tuning into the first one, the second one, noticing that the funds changed because this thing, went up, 33% in size, which actually, because of the weight of the bronze and everything, that caused, the budget to double. But we wanted to make sure that, it's going to be right. So, it's not going to be to scale. It's, what they took from us is what we're bringing back.
Yeah. And that was one of my favorite monuments. I just loved it. I got to visit it almost about a year before everything happened. And I remember being in Virginia and being like, my dad asked, because I love going to battlefields, and my dad said, look, someone's comment. Dig nabbit, Jason. Someone said, my dad said, he's like, look, you got to pick because the sun's getting down. We won't be here tomorrow. So you need to pick between Monument Avenue and this battleground. And I picked Monument Avenue because there was something in my gut that I just was scared that it wasn't going to be here next time. And I wanted to see stuff that my father saw when he was younger. I'm a big family history person, and of course, I'm a big Confederate history person. So I wanted to see these great monuments before they went down. And I went to see all of them, and my dad knew how much of a big Robert E. Lee fan I was, so we saved it till last. And I remember going around the curve and just staring. And this, again, this is not like me as a kid. This is 21-year-old me. Gosh, has it been 2 years? 20-year-old me just staring at it, and it was beautiful. And I remember being so happy. I took the picture. I took multiple pictures. I probably took 15 pictures on my phone. I just loved it. And again, when I heard what was happening to it, and when I heard what they were going to plan on doing to it, oh, it made my blood boil and it broke my heart. And then when I saw y'all's project, and I saw that y'all were there's been a meme going around saying, I'm not going for a piece of the cake, I'm going for the whole thing. Y'all ain't just putting up another Lee monument. And that's great. That's great. Don't get me wrong. If you want to put up a Lee monument, please do. If you want to put up a Jackson monument, please do. If you want to put up just a regular monument to all our Confederate soldiers, that is great. I love to see that. But for y'all to go after this project and be like, no, they took that away from us, we're putting it, and we mean it, legit, a almost exact replica of it, back up, golly, that just, it gives me so much pride and in our cause and in my fellow SCV members and people that are, in this fight with me, to see y'all taking on a project like this. And I have so much respect for your camp, Monuments Across Dixie, for doing this project, because I'm in love with the project, and I have nothing to do with the project. This is all y'all. So again, when I heard about it, I was just like, yep, nope, they're on the show. And I was like, I have to hear about this. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you really, lucky to have not seen the fall of Monument Avenue. And it's so terrible to have been down there for part of it and saw it firsthand. The last time I was in Richmond, and the monument was still up, but it had been spray painted and everything, and they had people camping and living around it. And it had gotten so dangerous to be there that myself, another camp member, and his wife were all in one vehicle, one pickup truck. So we go around, we're taking pictures out of the side of the truck, go around, come back to the other side, getting pictures. And like, you can't hardly get around it because there at this point, there's barriers and everything around it. But by the time we had looped back around, the people were like ready to attack us, to the point where somebody jumped one of the barriers and shot a rock through my buddy's truck with a slingshot. Almost hit his wife. I mean, he had his window down with his phone. It's just, the city has just become so dangerous and a cesspool. And they don't. If you're in a pickup truck, or I don't want to get into the race aspect, but if you're a white person and you look conservative, you're not safe down there anymore. And it's unfortunate that it's come to that. Some people have asked us, why not put the monument back up in Richmond somewhere? And the truth of the matter is, Richmond doesn't deserve them anymore after what they've done and how they treated these monuments and everything else. I mean, some of them are at a waste treatment plant, some of them are in jail. No, they don't deserve them, and they're not. And for your viewers who hadn't heard, the state has given the city of Richmond complete control of the Lee Monument, except for the contents of the boxes. They're gonna keep those, and every monument the city has said is going to go to the local Black History Museum. Now, so some people are trying to fight it a little bit. I know Jeb Stuart's birthplace really wanted his monument, but at this point, all of them, the city have just kind of, said, okay, they're going to go to this this museum, who didn't even put a bid in to receive them. They didn't even ask for them. But the city's plan on giving them all to them, and it's crazy. But there's no rule of law anymore. The judges aren't on. They're not going to help you. They're not going to help us. They're not going to help anybody. The judges are corrupt. And I don't want to keep getting into it and digging a hole. But it's a bad situation. I mean,
I know what you're talking about. It's a very delicate situation, if you will. Like tensions are just so high automatic. They can have it. Tensions are just so high automatically.
I'm a big fan of law enforcement. I've got a lot of friends who are police, but the cities, basically, these individuals, law enforcement, these police officers, state police, they work for the city. They work for, the state. And if the state tells them to stand down and let this stuff happen, that's.
They're following orders. They're doing I hate to say, like, they're doing their job. They're just following orders. And when all this stuff happened, I got in a lot of conflict with people. Well, why aren't the police officers doing their job? I'm like, it's the government telling them not to is what is really concerning to me.
Yeah.
And again, this is a very delicate conversation that would take up, a 2-parter episode on the show. But I completely agree that as of right now, the city just can't handle it.
Yeah.
And I would love to see a day in my lifetime where we turn it all around, because these people that are so angry at us, their only fault is their lack of education.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't know any better. They've been told this their whole life, and it hurts me because some of them don't want to learn. And it hurts me that, they have this much hate for us and this much hate for our heroes. But I don't blame them. I blame the people that brainwashed them in the first place. And rocks have been thrown at me, stuff like that's happened to me. I've had someone just follow me around, weirdly enough, and I don't know what their plan was, but as soon as I got in my car I had at the time, they just stared at me, and I was like, "What was your plan?" Because I noticed you were following me, and all I hear is SCV piece of, and I was like, "Oh, you're a classy fella. I see you." But, it's just they don't know any better. And one day it will get better. That I'm a very optimistic person. And if we keep fighting, if we don't give up, if we don't let them just keep piling all this hate on us.
You got to retake that narrative.
Yeah, we got to retake the narrative. But with it's getting a little bit closer to end time. And you sent me a couple posters. Do you want to talk about them?
The one is kind of our updated flyer. We want to make it on as easy for everyone to give it as what they can. So we've got, PayPal going on. We've got the Give Send Go account. If you want to send a check, that's totally cool. I love hearing from everybody. Like, so people send checks. First of all, more money goes straight to the cause. Because PayPal, Give, Send, Go, they do charge a processing fee. You send a check, everything goes straight to the cause. I love reading your letters. I'm not throwing them away or anything. Literally, I've got a 5-gallon bucket, filling up with letters. When we have camp meetings, bring those out and let people read them and stuff like that, because it's encouraging. Because it's frustrating. We've taken some losses, but when people from all over the country writing these letters, talking us up, it makes us feel good. So I like to share that with the guys, and we're just having a good time doing it.
Yeah.
The second one is us working with the Monuments Cross Dixie people. So we're doing Lee, any other camps out there listening, watching, there's more, there's opportunity out there for for all these other monuments. And anybody wants to get in on it, we would love to help. We can help you with the planning aspect of it. If anybody's interested in coming on helping, get with me and we'll make it happen.
Yeah, and I love to see that. And again, these two posters are graphics, if you will be posted on the SCV Chat Facebook page, tagging the camp and the website Lee Rides Again, so you guys can better get information and, of course, read it, because I know sometimes it's hard to read these things live. And so I'll be posting them after the show. So as soon as the show ends, go on our Facebook page, and they will be there. And, yeah, get all the information you can. If you want to sponsor another monument, that is awesome. We'll have everybody on to talk about it. And, of course, I would love to see it. But right now, I want to thank William for coming on and talking about Lee Rides Again. Again, you can go to their website, leeridesagain.com, and they have all their information there. And
we'll be back on again. And the shirts are a big thing. We're going to get the shirts taken care of. Everybody wants shirts. I want a shirt. So we're going to get some shirts done. Just give us a little bit more time on that. We've talked to the company that did our camp shirts, and awesome company, very pro for good for the cause. They've offered to do the screen, so they're going to make us up a screen. We just got to finalize the design on it. They'll send the screen up, and we're going to start cranking them out. More money straight into the monument fund.
Yeah, I want to tell everybody before you sign off real quickly. We will have past Commander-in-Chief Chuck McMichael on to talk about the Stephen D. Lee Institute soon. But right now, we need a reminder that the deadline to register for meals is this Monday, January 31st. So please go to www.stephendleeinstitute.com and /events, and you will be able to register for the event. It's going to be a great event. I am about to pull my money together and get that registered. So, yes, please go ahead and make sure you have it, get registered for your meal. Go read up, see what you want, and go do it. And, again, we'll have the legendary past Commander-in-Chief Chuck on soon to talk about the Stephen D. Lee Institute again. And, of course, again, one last time, you can go to leeridesagain.com and get all the information you need. And hopefully you guys will have you on in a couple months or so. Maybe I'll give you guys a couple times if you want to go ahead and do the T-shirts, or if y'all are waiting. Just enough time to get a new update available. Yeah.
As soon as we get the T-shirts going on, I'll be glad to come over and just give a good, quick little update, let you guys know, about the pricing and shipping and how we're going to work that out. And little monument figurines, like I said, we're going to go back and reassess that, because we had a lot of requests for those, and I've just got to go back and look at some of my history and see what what kind of quantities and pricing we can work out for those to make sure it's worth our while, and make sure we don't have to buy like 10,000 or something like that. So yeah, we'll get to work on that. The shirts are going to happen. Give us a few weeks. It's kind of my busy time at work, and the weather in Virginia sucks right now. If anybody's paying attention to Virginia, it's every weekend you get a little time off. It wants to snow. We got snow outside right now. So give me some time. I'll take care of it, and we'll get everybody hooked up.
Awesome. Let's see here. Okay. So, all right. Please remember, if you have a camp or division project you would like to talk about live on Look Around the Confederation, or you have any news about what your camp has done, you can send your pictures, short videos, and write-ups to scvyouthoutreach@gmail.com to be featured on the upcoming episode of Look Around the Confederation. We will have a news catch-up day next episode, as well as another guest. Let's see here. What was I thinking? Yeah, so I did leave out a good bit of news because I wanted to focus on Lee Jackson Day. I promised I was going to do that, and I wanted to keep my word on that. So if your news did not get talked about tonight, please do not worry, as we will be talking about them next week on Look Around the Confederation. Please tune in Monday to SCV Chat, Confederate Standard Time of 7 p.m. So without further ado, I will see you guys Monday. Again, thank you, Mr. William, for coming on for Lee Rides Again. Let's get this project off the ground, folks. Share this video. Let's get the Lee Jackson news out. Let's get Lee Rides Again out there. It's a great project, and you should not be ashamed at all to share Lee Rides Again. We are helping one of our greatest Confederate heroes get his monument back up in Virginia, his home state, where he deserves the love and attention he should get. So, please share this video. I will be checking the shares in about an hour. So I would like to see a big number of shares, people. Share it to your camp pages. Share it to everything. And again, the documents will be posted after the show. So without further ado, my friends, remember to know Fumar in the elevator, rare frop, and stay Southern, my friends. Thank you guys for your support, and we will see you guys Monday.